Hello, 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 and welcome to the second episode of Worlds of Wonder, the title of which I don't actually know at the time of filming, because apparently I decide that later now. This episode, you will see the slightly smaller scale in full force here, as not too much exciting stuff gets built, although it's still worth sticking around. I'm definitely not saying that as the person who made the video. It's still worth sticking around, because we'll see the first parts of this area, almost said the name again, we'll see the first parts of this area come together, the walls will be going up, and the first few interactive elements will officially be built, and hopefully, by the end of this, you will have an idea of what this area will be like, alongside the fact that at the end of this episode, I will reveal the name of the area. And so, with all that excitement coming up, let's waste no more time and get into what's happening on the screen. So, first things first, the paths are going in. That's right, no more walking on grass and pits everywhere. Nope, we've got a lovely path to walk over. But not for long. Sorry, that made it sound like it's going to be a really big thing. There's not. One section of one street, you won't be walking on path. Ooh. Oh, God, I'm wasting too much time. Look, the walls are already going up. Goodness me, look at that. But hopefully this will give you an idea of... Look, you see the vision now. Look, the coaster diving in and out of all the walls. Speaking of the walls, though, don't grow attached to these ones, as I'm going to jump into something very unprecedented, and I'm going to skip all the other 5 streets of walls, because it's not very interesting. Get ready for this. The first ever mid-video, a real-time section. And you join me here for something that's very rare. A mid-time-lapse real-time section. Because there's still construction to do after this, don't worry, it's not over just yet. Just a quick, brief second to show you, like, the vision here. Hold. Look, ready, here it comes. Whee! But now imagine the whole thing when all the walls are detailed and you can only see this much of the coaster. But that's not what this is about. Because after building all of this, I've made the shock realization. The townhouse brick wall is actually what I wanted. It's really annoying. Because, like, this looks so much better than the painted brick wall. And it's a lot more, like, the vibe I'm going for with this. And, a big win, this has an archway piece. For some reason that I can't explain, only Frontier could possibly know why, the painted brick wall does not have an arch piece, oh hello, which is something that I quite need for this. Get ready for this magic trick, because we're going to go back into the time-lapse, except all of these walls are going to be replaced by the townhouse brick. Ready? Watch this. BAM! Yes, as my magical real-time counterpart just explained, look at that, the walls are all very different. They're a bit bright, I won't lie, they're a little bit different to the vibe I was going for with this area. However, I think they work a lot better, they're a lot more detailed, they have an archway piece for a start, which you'll come to see later. I need those. And yeah, I just think it fits what I'm going for more. Anyway, I'm currently, cleaning up the holes in the wall. Because we don't want big blocky 4 meter by 4 meter squares in every wall, do we? So yeah, I'm just adding some more details. This isn't going to be the finished product. This is just like shaping out the holes. Anyway, moving on. Look at that, all the holes have been shaped. As a treat to all of you who stuck around, who weren't put off by the fact that there might not be coaster construction. Look, coaster construction! Honestly, I don't remember doing this. But I made a few layout and operational tweaks to the coaster just to make it run a bit better. And I spent a very long time doing that, which I'm not going to bore you with, but it boils down to, I added, I think, 1 or 2 extra block sections to it, and so it can run more trains, and then ended up going back on it all anyway, so what was the point? Anyway, on to something else exciting that I didn't talk about in the intro. So look at you resilient lot who are still here. You're getting treated right now. There's so much I didn't say I was going to build, and yet here we are. Because I'm now building the entrance tunnel into the park. As you can see, I've made it a lot taller than it originally was, because I wasn't going to have it be this big grand room, but then I realised, that's better. And as you look up, you've got stars above you. Ooh, maybe that could somewhat hint at the theme of this land. Actually, I don't know if it does or not, I'm not fully sure myself, but I put them in because they look cool. And you'll see very soon in this tunnel, actually, the steampunk elements from the scrapped steampunk area that then got turned into this area. God, that is a mouthful. That then got turned into this area. They start to come through a little bit more in this tunnel specifically, as there's just metal and pipes and steam everywhere. Anyway, in an attempt to do what this series does, hopefully best, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to a future version of the tunnel. Watch this. Bang! And we've jumped ahead now, in the interest of keeping this not boring. We've got a lot more pipes in here now, and typical, I've frozen. Oh, there we are. I'm moving it again. Yes. However, as you see, I'm just absolutely covering this room in pipes and metal framework, because in my eyes, it's sort of it's a deep reference here, but it's going to be sort of like the walls of Thneedville from the Lorax, in that there's like all sorts of just metal and pipes and water running well, not really water running through, but just metal and pipes everywhere. Stuff that doesn't look too good to the outside city. It's all contained within the walls, and that's what I wanted this tunnel to look like. I should add, I've not seen the Lorax in ages, so I don't actually know if it looks anything like this. I just, only just then, vaguely remember the tunnels in the walls looking like this. Anyway, I've talked too much about Thneedville tunnels, because I will address something. There is going to be, in the real-time section, some detail that I didn't put in here. That's right, I've gone and done some off-camera mining, and I've put in some extra stuff. But you'll see that soon when we get there. Anyway, we've jumped ahead again, because we see the first gears going in, which is something you're going to see very soon. I might have gone a little bit overboard on the gears. However, oh yeah, here we go now. You can see me, oh no, we're going to watch me go overboard on them live. So yeah, this initial idea, didn't like how it looked. And then I remembered the beautiful rescaling feature, which I don't know how I forgot that when I was placing down, you know, multiple of the same item. And look, that immediately looks kind of better. And in the end, I think it came out fine. It's just, at the moment, I'm very, there's a lot of them everywhere, and they don't really make sense. So I'll probably go back on these a little bit. I'll work on them later. However, I thought it would be a cool visual, and because the front of the clock tower looked very... Yeah, there you go, that's far too many. Because the front of the clock tower looked very bare, I decided to put a few just gears on it to... Well, as if they're like the workings of the clock tower, and also maybe sort of the coaster behind it. Plus, I thought it'd be a cool visual from like the breakdown of the coaster to look out at the streets through all the gears. I thought it would look cool. It looks a little bit too busy, but I'll fix that next episode, sure. Actually, I'll fix it in between. I won't bore you with me fixing the gears. Anyway, moving on to what I would call the most exciting part of the time lapse. The interactive elements are going in. You'll see why I call them that in a minute, because, well, you don't directly, like, go up and press a button or anything. It's not that kind of interactive. However, I've built, so far, 2 individual, like, themed moments where the coaster will pass by and something will happen, like, on or near the paths. And, oh, I love how these came out. Both of these that I built, actually, these are both ideas I had at the same time, while I believe I was in the Wickerman queue. I don't know what caused these ideas, but, well, for a start, I wanted to launch behind, like, this kind of grated archway, which is a very specific thing to want, but I thought it would look great to have, you know, to have a launch behind a smoky archway, and you can't really see back there until the train flies by. It's really loud all of a sudden, smoke comes pouring out of the tunnels. Oh, it sounded so cool. And you know what? I think it came out exactly like that. I really like how it looks for a start. I love, this is something I really want to have throughout the area. It's just sort of like steam and smoke pouring out onto the paths from just sort of everywhere. There's no real, well, I don't know, sorry, there is a place where they're coming from, but there's always like some kind of hole in the wall or a vent in the ground or something where there's just like steam pouring out, and it covers the paths, and it makes the whole area so much more mysterious. That's something I really wanted to like achieve for this. Anyway, I'm now putting in a trigger sequence on the ride, which will make it so that when the coaster comes by, a bunch more steam will shoot up into the tunnel, or just so then like it's not constantly flooded with steam in there, and it gives you a little like visual indicator as to when the coaster's coming, because all of the steam will just, you know, up out of the, sorry, that was my steam impression, will just sort of rise up out of the out of the tunnel, and then the coaster will, so that was my coaster impression. It's okay, you're getting so many impressions today. The coaster will fly by. Look, here you go, you can see it. You can sorry for one frame there of the coaster going by. Anyway, on to the next one, and I will say, out of everything I built so far, this is probably the least realistic thing, but it's an idea I also had in the Wickerman queue, and I had to do it. I was like, it's just, and it sounds so good in my head, and to be fair, I do love the finished product, but I wanted to have this part where 2 launches go underneath the path. I only planned for 1, but somehow a second one ended up down there. And then you're sort of walking over a grate as it flies under. Obviously, in real life, they probably wouldn't be able to do that because, well, what if you drop something through the grate? What if, as unrealistic as it is, what if, like, the grate breaks through? Oh, to be fair, I did add something in, like, I had, like, 3 layers of grate. So if one breaks, you're probably fine. But, yeah, they probably wouldn't build this. This would be, like, if it was anything, it would be a very thick glass floor. But I just thought it was such a cool feature to have the coaster, like, flying underneath you. Of course, there's going to be steam rising up from out of this grate. And every now and again, it'll be lovely and quiet in the area. And then you'll hear it just roar past. You won't know what it is. You can't see it. Unless, of course, you look down and realise it's flying underneath you as well. Like I said in the last episode, this is what I really wanted to achieve with this coaster. This feeling of you can look anywhere and the coaster will probably be there. But yeah, it's just such a cool effect. I love how it's come out in the end. And you're going to see that in the real-time section right about now. And here we are for the real-time section. And you join me up here at the fountain, not down at the park. Because, as I teased earlier, I'm going to carefully walk backwards to try and get there without revealing it. It's finally time to reveal the name of the first area within this park. Okay, great. I've made it. Look at me go. Just behind me, the red bar has come off of the name, and I can officially reveal that the area I have and will be building for the next couple episodes is called the Twilight District. I love this name. It's like weird, mysterious, steampunky. Oh, that was good timing. Hello. And I think once it's done, I think this name's going to fit even more. And, well, I had to unveil the name because here we have the entrance portal to the park. As you walk through... Oh, my God, look. Sorry, I've just remembered how cool this looks. Look at all of this. Just so much, like, steam everywhere. When I put the soundtrack in, it'll sound even better, of course. But, yeah, you see this massive now entering the Twilight District sign. And then I'll show off this room first. So, of course, as we go around, we have all of the pipes and metal bars and stuff. I'll probably put in more at some point. Although, in saying that, this is a separate rant that I'll have in a minute. But, yeah, I'll get to that. But I think I might need to talk about what what's written around the room as well. Because it's a little bit hard to see. However, we have, around the room, we have teasers for each of the areas within the park. And I can think of no better way to read them off than in the funny what's his name, teaser guy voice. A land of innovation, a paradise lost to time, a forest of terror, a sleepy town. Brief editing interlude. That one's rubbish. I'm gonna change it. A realm cut off from the world, a race like no other. Okay, that is all of them, and my God, I forgot how much it hurts to do that voice. Blimey. Anyway, I might as well show this off. We also have a similar sign on the other side for now leaving the Twilight District as we make our way into the area. Yeah, these are not staying, I'm sorry. They look so silly. Oh, no. I'll probably have like 1 or 2 around, but not this many. This looks awful. But either way, as we come into the area... Look at this! This, hopefully, is now giving you an idea of the vision. So once these all are decorated and painted and they all look like proper buildings, you'll come through the area and the coaster will fly overhead. Conveniently, it's not doing it now. It's not coming over this piece of track here. Hang on, watch this. Oh, never mind. I didn't even need to cut ahead. It did it for me. There we go. See? But look, it like flies overhead and it disappears behind the wall. Where did it go? We don't know. Look, there's a spike. I think that'll probably be... I think the spike will stay visible. It'll be, like, just peeking over the rooftops over there. But, oh, there we go. Perfect timing. There it goes. But as we head into the area, there'll be a sort of... I'll try to figure out a way to do it, because you know those, like, wooden signposts with a bunch of arrows on it? I want something like that, but not just a little flimsy one in the middle. That seems rubbish. But either way, I'll get to that when I get to that. But now, as we look around it... Oh, my God. Look at this! Oh, it's amazing. There's just track everywhere. And, of course, there's not buildings at the end yet, so you can't tell these thick ways apart. But imagine when they've all got, like, something like this, like, their own big building at the end, signifying the area that's going to be behind. it's gonna look so good. Anyway, I've come down here to show off the first of the 2 interactive elements. Of course, it looks a bit bare at the moment because the walls haven't been done. However, I'm sure it will look much better when it's done. Now watch this, I'm going to jump ahead to when the train comes flying by. Okay, ready? Watch this. Oh, that is exactly how I envisioned it. Just having like the smoke rise up, it fills up with smoke, and then the train flies by. You can only hear it for like half a second. That is exactly how I wanted it. It's not the most like detailed thing, and I might as well begin this now, which I talked about, which I did hinted at earlier. I think with this whole series, not just this area, but this whole series, I'm gonna say in advance, maybe don't get your hopes like too high. I know for a fact I'm nowhere near the best at this, and it's a slightly annoying thing, really. Of like, I wouldn't. I don't want to sound too full of myself, but I wouldn't say I'm like bad at this game. I would say, dare I even say, compared to maybe the average player, like the average person who plays Planet Coaster, I might even be somewhat good. But my skills lie in coaster design. I love designing the layouts for coasters. I would even say I'm somewhat good at designing like coaster layouts and tying it all into the area. It's just actual like detailed theming. I can't do that to save my life. As we can see, hang on, if I head quickly make my way over here, I think that's shown nowhere better than in here. Look, like there's still just a lot of empty wall, and I actually just don't know what to do. It just looks so. There's just something about it. I can't. No matter how much I put down, I can't fill in that wall. And it's no matter how much, it could even just be that tiny bit of wall. I feel like I need to put something there, and I can't, because of course that's not how it works. You can't fill in every part of the wall, or else it is no longer the wall. So yeah, I know I'm not like the best, and don't cut. I'm gonna say now, as much as it might sound bad to like drive away viewers, if you're expecting like a world-class performance from me here, like you're expecting theming that the likes of which have never been seen before in this game, areas that are so immersive that like you forget you're watching a Planet Coaster 2 video, you're watching the wrong guy. I am not gonna do that, I'm afraid. I'm gonna do my best, of course, but don't expect like miracles when it comes to the theming, because frankly, that is not where my skills lie in this game, sadly. Anyway, after that slight mood killer of a rant, let me go to the other interactive element. And here it is. As mentioned before, it might be a little bit unrealistic to have these like grates that you walk on. I don't know if this is like approved or safe, but it looks cool. And if you just give it a second, hang on. Look at that. Oh, that's exactly... Sorry, that was a weird noise. Oh, that is exactly what I was looking for there. Look at... like, but imagine walking down this path through... I don't know what area... What area does this lead to? But yeah, I just... Oh, wow, look at that. I mean, I have, in fact, achieved having the coaster be above, below, and to the side... It's not there. No, if the arteries were there. Having the coaster be above, below, and, like, all around you. And I love how it looks. Just... But imagine walking through the park and you walk over this weird unassuming grate and there's just 2 launches down there. Every now and again, like, the 2 trains will fly by almost in sync. I couldn't quite sync them up, sadly. They'll fly by one after the other and it just looks ridiculous. Speaking of, hey, there we go. And then the other one should be just behind it. There it goes. Whee! Oh, how fun. Anyway, you join me back up here in the sky for this overhead view of the whole coaster and area, because that is the end for episode 2. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, great. If you haven't, I'm sorry. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye, all.